So the theme of this year's International Women's Day is choose to challenge. What behavior will you pledge to challenge this year and why? I would like to challenge the woman behind the camera stereotype. I heard one time an older gentleman DOP saying, "When have you ever seen a woman behind the camera? Ha 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 ha." So this behavior can and should be challenged with education and practice. The best way forward is that we educate our new generations of filmmakers and practice what we preach. So let's learn to recognize our unconscious biases and promote diversity by simply doing it. The world of film is very underrepresented by women. How does it feel to work in such a male-dominated industry? I think generally it is about the skills you bring to the table. But you can find yourself in an atmosphere of sexism, just silly men jokes, for example. I have worked on films where there were women in grip, camera department, women directors, women producers, but I have also worked on sets where you are automatically the coffee maker. So it's not easy, as certain stereotypes are so embedded that it's hard to break them. However, I see the newer generations are doing much better in terms of equality and diversity, so there's great hope for a more diverse future. Can you name up to 3 women in film that have inspired you the most? Although I don't have specific role models, I followed my own path. There's 2 women that I really admire. One is Ellen Lotman. She's the president of the Estonian Society of Cinematographers and a board member of IMAGO, the International Federation of Cinematographers. Also co-chairing the Diversity Inclusion Committee with Nina Kellgren. She's a cinematography teacher. She's the head of her arts department. She's a successful international working cinematographer, and she continuously promotes this idea of equality and equal opportunities for women cinematographers. She advocates for recognition, raising the number of women cinematographers, for equal opportunities and an inclusive creative working environment. Her motto is, if you can see it, you can be it. So it's about raising the exposure, the recognition, the visibility, as these are 3 most important aspects for a successful career. A good example of this working is Illuminatrix, which is a UK association of professional women cinematographers who work internationally. The second person that I admire is Mila Turajlic. She's a Serbian filmmaker. She's a director, she's a producer, and she writes scripts for her documentary films. She produced a few award-winning documentary films on Yugoslavian film, and she's my age. Women hold fewer roles in key crew roles. What do you think is the first step in turning around this problem? I think introducing a quota of women to be hired for every film would be very useful. It's being implemented in some film productions, some projects, but there's a long way to go. And similarly, we could also set a quota of female students to be accepted every year to a film school. So it's all about a wider education, showing people what the conditions are and what can be done to change them. And it can be done to change them. It just has to be set in motion. What advice would I give to a female aspiring to get into the film industry? I would say don't be sensitive, because you will get challenged very, very, very often. But be assertive and don't be afraid to stand up for yourself. Don't be afraid to be labeled rude, bossy on the set. Don't be. Be confident in your vision, be confident in your work, and just go ahead and do it. There's always people who will support you. You will always get assistance. So it's a very friendly family. the film industry, please join us.